Hello. Once again, y'all, we are in the place. We're in the building. This is WFTB 104.1 Tab Nashville Gospel Radio. And we are so excited to be here, y'all. Also, we are filming the Teddy and Monica show and Sacrificial Conversations tonight, the podcast, y'all. So we're excited to be here once again, y'all. And Monica, you got anything you want to say while we are on the air tonight? Why you laughing over there?
That's so funny. Welcome. Happy Monday, March the 3rd. We are into the third month of the year. This time is flying by
fast. Yes,
I hope that you all are taking advantage of each and every day, living your best life, giving the Lord Jesus Christ some of your time, talent each and every day. So that's all I have to say today. But once again, thank you all for joining us on tonight.
Yes, y'all. Yes. Well, tonight, like I said, y'all, God has been blessing us, y'all. When I tell you that He is truly sending some of my friends, some of my mentors, some people that's been important in my life to come and sit on this platform and to be on the Teddy and Monica show, on our live radio show. Y'all, we are excited. We are excited because He's sending so many great people through. Tonight, though, y'all, we have, I call him a young man, but he's old enough to be my father, y'all. And I've been knowing this man for a long time. I started in the music industry, y'all, when I was 5. Gospel singing, been singing gospel for about 30, 40 years now. And recorded a couple of albums. Charles knew about this, you all, but I've been in this thing, y'all, a long time. And this young man, I'm going to say young, has been in it longer than me. He's been in the industry doing so many big things. He's worked with so many artists in this industry here in Nashville. His name is known all around the city. Every musician in town should tap in and come on in and listen or take a look at Sacrificial Conversations, you all, to know about this young man that we're about to talk to on our conversation tonight. So I'm going to turn it over to him real quick so he can give you a small resume. He did it on Facebook first, but he's going to give us a small resume on himself and who he is. So this is my man, my brother, Charles House. How are you doing tonight, brother?
Okay, it's Charles Howe. Everybody confuses me with Charles House.
I know.
I get his calls, he gets my calls. I'm Charles
and
Howe.
You know, I've been calling you that a long time.
So many people have. They just confuse us.
So, Charles, how do you actually spell your last name?
Howe.
H-O-W-E.
And he's H-O-W-S-E.
Okay, so H-O-W-E.
How.
How. Okay. How.
You ought to see how I got it in my
We got H-O-U-S-E. That's okay. Just don't call me late for dinner.
There you go. I like that, brother. I like that. So, Charles, give us. I know that name. I know Charles very well. So that's what I've been calling y'all in your life. So, but Charles, give us a quick resume on who you are, what you've been doing in this industry, some of the accolades that you want to put out here before we get into our conversation tonight.
Well, I bought my first sound system in 1970. I produced the first TV show in 1974. Had a record label in the 70s and 80s. Promoted records and concerts starting in the 60s. Worked with more people than I can think of. As a promotion man, I did Blue Magic from day one. Like a lot of the younger people might not even know who that is.
Okay.
Did William Devon, which everybody thought was Curtis Mayfield.
Wow.
The record, they call it Diamond in the Back, Big Cadillac, Making the Scene with a Gangsta Lean.
Come on,
but the record was Be Thankful for What You Got. That went to #1 pop and R&B.
Come on.
Did national promotion for so many different concerns and labels, promoted concerts, worked with your dad.
Yeah.
I think starting in the 80s.
It was in the 80s when you all started working together, Charles.
Worked with him because your dad was a promoter, did a lot of stuff here in the city. But I've done stuff all over the country. We did Motown TV special. I did the Stellar Awards a couple years here in Nashville. Nashville Gospel.
Yeah. I remember that shit. Yeah, you was big on that Nashville Gospel scene.
I've just worked with Teresa Hannah.
Okay.
You know, Nashville Gospel. Work with so many. I can't even think of all of them.
I bet you can't think of them.
We've done the African Street Festival. I did the first one in 1982, and I've done all but one since 1999.
Okay.
Juneteenth, the city celebration here in town. I've got a company. It's called CHOMCO. You know Kenyon Flowers.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kenyon used to always tease me about my company name, but it stands for the Charles Howard Organization Management Company. And I was the first black studio engineer on Music Row in Nashville.
Come on, man.
Because I started in 74 engineering. Like I said, I'm just one of the guys in the trenches. Oh, I was part of the first black concern on Music Row, first music group called Sierra, with Lorenzo Washington, Freddie Jackson, Henry Dotson.
I remember him.
You know, Henry Well. Henry's great friends with your dad.
Yes.
So just have done tons of stuff. I don't know. I just do it every day.
You just did, and that's all you actually been doing all your life as well, Charles. Am I correct?
All my adult life.
Wow.
I started as a teenager in '66. My hometown, Plainfield, New Jersey. Well, that's where Parliament Funkadelic is from, and I did they did a farewell concert in '66, and I worked on that show and got hooked. Billy Nelson was in my class. He was the bass player in the Funkadelics. Eddie Hazel was in my sister's class right after me. You know, and
so let me ask this real quick, Charles. Did you go to school, or were you self-taught in this business?
They had no schools for this when I started.
Okay.
Just learn by doing. I just said to myself, it's not rocket science. I can just learn how to do it.
Okay. So by not being rocket science later on, did you go because you're that good? Did you go get any type of education with it, or you just pretty much learned this trade by yourself?
I have lectured at colleges. I've taught people who teach.
Wow.
When people, one day I was talking to one of the engineers that work for a major white artist, white guy, and he was telling me they had some big thing. This was back when Municipal Auditorium, before Bridgestone. And he was telling me how they were having a Charles Howard reunion backstage because so many of the engineers had interned with me and worked with me, you know, over the years. But
that is amazing.
It's just what we do.
So, Charles, I have a question for you. So, I know you said you started in your teenage years, but when you were growing up, was it a love for music that got you into this industry?
Absolutely not.
Go on and tell us the story, Charles. Yeah.
Absolutely not. I just had a knack for it. It was just something that came easy. It was fun. You know, I was doing it because I started in New York and New Jersey, then Philadelphia. Then I came here to go to college, went to Vanderbilt, and started doing stuff here because I was here. But I've done stuff all over the country.
Okay.
From Motown special in Los Angeles to the Harlem Renaissance Classic in Harlem to, you know, Miami, Chicago, wherever, all kinds of music of whatever type, you know, just.
So you said you didn't love music though, because that's all you've been doing all your life. And what made you want to choose this actual?
In 1974, I said I was going to do this for 6 months, every day for 6 months and make some quick money.
Okay.
And here I am. I'm still doing it every day.
So it was about the money.
So Charles,
I'll tell you a really interesting story. When I was doing the Stellar Awards, and Kirk Franklin was on, and I was talking to Kirk Franklin's production manager. He was a guy in his 30s. And I said, well, what caused you to want to do this? And he told me when he was a little boy in High Point, North Carolina, he had went to this gospel concert. It was a live recording for some gospel group. And he went and he said he was just mesmerized by it because they had a black production company doing it. Black engineer was doing it, doing this live recording in High Point. And we talked about that and got to think, you know, I had done that live recording.
So that was you with Kirk Franklin?
No, it wasn't Kirk Franklin. This was when his production manager was a little boy. Why he got into the business.
Gotcha.
Because he went to that live recording and saw black people doing it.
Okay.
And I had done that.
That's awesome.
I thought that was amazing.
That is amazing, Charles. That is amazing. That is so amazing. So, I know you did. Have you done any country artists yet?
I did in the 70s.
Okay.
Nobody. Oh, I did one famous country artist. I didn't, not a live recording, but I did. What's the guy married to Nicole Kidman? Keith Urban.
Yeah.
I did his first showcase in Nashville.
Okay.
I don't remember what year it was, but I did. I've done a lot of country things over the years. I was vice president of the Minority Country Music Association back in the day when it first started, and I'm a big supporter of Carlos D. Ford Bailey, the grandson of D. Ford Bailey, who was the first star of the Grand Ole Opry. And I've been talking to Carlos because he hasn't had a hit record, but he's on the Grand Ole Opry. He performs regular. So we're talking about collaborating and producing a record so he can have a hit. I can't give away what it is, but we got a hot one.
Okay. So in all the music industry people that you work with, what was the most exciting one, or who was the biggest one that you felt like you had arrived, or that was one of your most exciting jobs you had with an artist? Who was that artist?
Work with so many, you just can't pinpoint it down to one.
I'll try to think of somebody that I was excited about working with. It's just, I'll tell you who. Okay. You guys remember Roots?
Yeah,
the sequel to Roots? Mm-hmm. Well, one of the stars of that was Faye Hauser, and I was her producer. She played the school teacher in the sequel to Roots. So I was in LA. Her boyfriend at the time was Robert Guillaume, who was Benson. He was a star of the TV show Benson.
Yeah.
So I was over their house in LA, and I'm sitting down talking to this guy, having the best conversation in the world, and it was the guy who played Superfly in the movie Superfly. So that was cool. That was like that was a pretty cool experience.
I bet that was a cool experience.
But I don't know. It's just the people in the music business they're really just regular people. Okay. Some of them are real cool. Some of them buttholes.
Gotcha. Gotcha. So you got anything you want to ask about transition?
So yeah, because I'm not into the music like my husband. So you got to break it down to me. Actually, what is it that you actually do? I know you're saying engineering. So do you do anything with the music? Do you do all this keyboard stuff?
I don't engineer a lot anymore because I have a company and people work for me and they do that. I tell people we do everything, and it's hard for people to believe, but we have a broadcast television set up, in terms of we come on location and we can do sports or a television show or whatever. We have all the cameras and the switchers and all the equipment for that. Excuse me. We have multiple sound systems. So we do 10,000 people for the Juneteenth celebration. Who knows how many people to come to the African Street Festival in Hadley Park. So we do, we do things in different cities at the same time sometimes. Like we'll be doing something in Jackson, Tennessee, and something in Nashville at the same time. The furthest apart we ever did, we did something in Nashville and something in New York City at the same time. So actually it was the African Street Festival. On Thursday, I oversaw them setting up for the African Street Festival, and Friday it got going. Friday afternoon, I hopped on a plane, flew to New York, and I had sent a truck all the way up with the equipment. We set that up Friday evening. Saturday, we did the show we were doing there. Sunday morning, first thing, I got a plane back to Nashville for Sunday at African Street Festival. But it's not about me. I've got a great team of people. And we just do what we do. I've been blessed to have a good rapport with a number of people. My phone rings all the time with people asking me to do things with our company, to do things.
Right.
We just try to stay really current with the equipment and with the techniques and whatnot. We're always buying new things. Like we just bought 2 of the new Wing consoles, which are just awesome. We just got a new Digico console. Just got another new line array. We're always getting new video stuff. It's just, keeping up.
So what's the name of your company, Charles? What is the name
it's
of
called
the company?
CHOMCO. 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 That stands for Charles Howell Organization Management Company.
So are you on any like social media pages that we can put out and let people know about it, or you just really don't do that much?
I personally am not real connected, but I think we have a Facebook page. It's CHOMCO, YouTube, CHOMCO Management. We're just doing a new YouTube for CHOMCO Live to put live events. Like we do the Fisk recitals, Fisk University recitals. We've done worldwide broadcast. We like Juneteenth broadcast on 3 stations.
Okay.
We do the African Street Festival in Jackson. We just did the Levert Experience Saturday in Hendersonville.
So who all was on? Was it any major artists, or was it just some local people that did that?
Well, no. I was the Levert. Of course, they passed. Gerald's passed and Sean, but Joe, and he said one of the guys from 112 was on there with him, and another guy. Actually, we do so much stuff, it's kind of a blur for me. Because we did, at the end of December, we did a group from Memphis. It was Otis Redding's band. When everybody died in plane. James Alexander and, what's the name? The Barcades.
The Barcades.
Okay. We did the Barcades at the end of December, and at the beginning of December we did Jagged Edge and D112 and DJ Smurf.
Okay.
It's ongoing.
Okay. So I want to take a curve real quick and talk about something that's important to me and what I look forward to in going into the house of the Lord. What's your thoughts about sound being right or the sound being right at church services now with the way the technology is going? We're doing a lot of live streaming. We're doing things like this podcast and things going on. What is your thought process going towards that, or should churches take out the right monies, time, abilities to put into the church services to make sure that the sound is done properly? And just give us a little insight on that, Charles.
Well, I've worked with more churches than I can think about. And one of the first things I say when I talk to a pastor is, if you believe that God has given you a word, if you believe that you're called to spread that word and share that word, then the people need to be able to hear and understand what you're saying. Did you hear that?
Right.
I said the people need to be able to hear and understand what you're saying.
Right.
So often in the black church, they'll spend money on the choir robes, they'll spend money on the pews, they'll spend money on the windows, like the sound. They want to go buy a $19 microphone and then wonder why it doesn't sound good.
Yeah.
You know, we are people who are moved by movement and sound.
Yeah.
That's what moves us.
That's it.
You know, we're kinetic. And what we gotta have it. It's not the same as these other communities who can just sit there and, you know, they'll have one little speaker or no speaker, you know, and they're just doing the, you know, the little hymns and whatever. But we pump it. That's what moves us. And if that's right, then it's right with us. I mean, it's just, that's who we are as a people. We respond to that.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's why we have the technology for the things that we do. And that's why people come to us, because we have it. That's why people go to your church, because you have it.
It's so amazing. And I ain't going to cut you off, Charles, but Monica, I know you really, when you sit, because you sit in the audience most of the time, you're not really up there in the choir, or you did choir before, but you didn't do it a lot. But when you out there in the audience and your experience, what type of experience do you want, and what type of experience do you get? I mean, over your lifetime, have you been in some bad situations where you didn't enjoy the sound, or give us your insight on that?
Yeah, vice versa. Right now, I know our church is on point with the sound system. I can hear everything, and we have been at churches before where the sound was just terrible. The singers did not sound like they should sound, which I know they can sing, but because of the audio, it just did not work. And it reminds me, like when you go to these colleges and they have things there you can't hear. So to me, sound is very important, because if I'm spending my money or my time anywhere, I need to be able to hear a good quality sound, just like in your car. You know, I don't know a lot about systems, but I know the Bose system. I love the sound of that because it's so clear. But my husband has educated me that there's a new and better. What do you have in your car now?
I don't know the actual name of it. I'm testing it out right now. But the Bose system is something that we can agree on is an amazing system. I know you know a lot about Bose as well, Charles. But
you probably passed Bose.
Right,
Bose
right.
Probably on his bottom spectrum.
I got a great Bose story for you.
Come on.
Do you know those little towers that Bose has? Have you seen them? The stick sound system.
Yeah, the stand up. Yeah.
Well, I was an industry rep for Bose for those. One of my good friends was he was like a tester, one of the musician consultant for them, and he was telling me about it, and so I started telling him why that was working from a physics standpoint, and he could not believe that I understood that. He put me on the phone with their engineers, and they hired me. They had me fly up there to their headquarters.
Wow.
And, with the development team. So I've done a little of everything.
Yeah, man, you keep on. Your resume is getting bigger and bigger, man. And Charles, do you mind me telling the people actually how old you are, man?
Well, in a couple of weeks I'll be 74.
Oh, wow.
74, man. Wow. And you said you started at what age?
About 16.
Wow.
Let's see. No, I was 15 in 66.
Wow.
So are you looking forward to return anytime soon, or you want to just carry this
Absolutely
on
not.
out? Absolutely not? Wow.
No, I was just gonna fall over one day. I want to fall over with my boots on.
Okay.
No, I think going to the spiritual side of things.
Yeah.
We need meaning in our lives. That's what keeps you going. It's important to have something that's meaningful to you. And the reason why I do this is not because I love music. It's because I love our people. And I'm a facilitator for Black Voices. So I love the fact that you do what you do. See, now this is a new part of what you do for me, because I know you're a singer, right?
Yeah.
You're a great singer. You minister. But when you minister, when you feel good about how you sound, it lets you just really go loose and do it. So when we've worked together in the past, I'm trying to make sure that you got that feeling that you want, that you know that your voice is commanding. Because, you can be, when you're talking to the people, they can just hear you or they can feel you, And I'm the person that helps you make them feel you. That's my mission.
Bro, you get some snaps on that, boy, because you done broke it down, brother, to make, that is a great purpose, man, as an engineer, as a producer. Man, that was cold-blooded right there, Charles. I got to give you some props on that, because I've been in spaces to where I couldn't hear myself in the monitors. I couldn't hear myself as I was singing, so it made me have to scream, sing harder. So it would take away from my voice. It would take away from any type of runs or reflections that I want to give, light tones, heavy tones. But every time that I work with you, and I can't say this, Charles, every time that I have worked with you, I have been able to clearly hear myself in the monitors. I have been able to sing and have a comfortable tone to where I didn't have to overexert my voice or sing too loud, because when you're singing too loud, sometimes it could sound, especially in the gospel arena, like you're hollering over the microphone.
Right.
And I know you've experienced that a lot, Monica. I know you have been in places where you like, they sound like they hollering, But I know you also been in experiences where Charles was an engineer. Do you remember any of those, especially at church? Do you remember any of those?
You know what, Theodore? You have taken me to about 1 million churches.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure. But to relate, because I was like, how am I going to relate to this tonight? We went to, shout out to my first lady, Lady Adrian. She invited us to a concert
with Triad, a group called Triad, and this group was amazing.
The sound, because I had to ask Theodore, because we went to one concert on Friday night, and that one was downtown Nashville. And when I tell you, the singers, everything was just excellent. It was like a crisp sound. They all were like on one accord. Well, the next day we had to go to another concert, but it was at a church. And they had way more singers. They had, it probably been like 150 voices. And I had to ask them, we went to a small, intimate concert on Friday, and it was more powerful than the 150 voices that we heard the next day. And he was like, Monica, it's all in the sound. Yeah. And I was like, what? It was like night and day. So I guess some places are equipped better than others. I'm quite sure it is, but down there in the Nashville, wherever that was.
It was called The Shelf on Broadway is where we was at. We was on the 3rd level. And the sound and the engineers that they had up in there, Charles, they were on point. The sounds for Triad, it's a gospel group, and Jamal and Triad. Let me put that name out there again, because this guy truly impressed me. Jamal and Triad, y'all, I got to give it up for them. They had us in this place with Lady Adrian Freeman Lewis, and the sound was impeccable, brother. It was so on point, and to hear what you just said, man, that's your purpose in life, is to make sure that the artist or the preacher or the person that's bringing what they bring to an audience, you take our voice and make it powerful, make it punch, make it give it. And I got to throw this in here real quick, you all. God is all about sound. Because think about this, you all. Everything that God created, he created it what? By speaking it. Okay. So by him speaking it, that means he had to use his voice to do it. So that lets you know how powerful our voice is in this world. We have a powerful voice if you're saying something that's going to be fruitful or that's going to be impactful, brother. So you have really, really blessed me by saying what you said, because I never thought about it like that, Charles. I never in my mind said your job was to make sure that your purpose, you didn't say your job, you said your purpose was to make sure whoever had the mic in their hand, their projection did what it was supposed to do, and you was able to be felt, not just heard. That was powerful, brother. Come on, you got to give me a little bit more on that real quick, man.
Well, it for me, it's about the message, and it's the validity of our messages. Because I'm a little older, I remember when you didn't have black people on TV. Like, there was a publication called Jet Magazine, and Jet would put an article every week and would tell people if there was going to be a black person on TV.
Wow.
So they would say, well, Sammy Davis Jr. is going to be on Gunsmoke at 2 p.m. on Saturday.
Right.
So all the black people watch, because wasn't nobody black on TV. And the relevance of that is our images of ourselves. Right now, other communities support negative images. They really put that out there. And so our people are just getting a lot of negative messaging. And I think it's just really important to put out a positive message. So I wasn't aware this was on a gospel radio station, but, I got to pick a little bone with the church, because a lot of times the church is singing to the choir and they're leaving the street corner for other voices to come with other messages. And I think it's important that we be on the street corner.
Yeah.
That as a people, we've got to put out a message that's positive, because if we don't support it, other communities are supporting messages that are just running us down a bad road. So we've got to support our institutions. We got to support our people putting out positive messages. I remember when hip hop started, it was all about fun and having a good time. And then it kind of got hijacked to a lot of it is about us killing each other. Yeah. Us damaging each other, us hurting each other, us, dogging each other out. I want to be part of the positive.
That's good. That's what we are with it now, Charles. We want to be a part of the positive and making sure that people get a positive listening and knowing that when we're talking or when we're singing now, that it's going to encourage you, it's going to be fruitful, it's going to do something that is going to impact your life to help you be a better person, man. So, you killing me tonight with this, because I knew when I said I want to actually sit down and have an interview with you, man. I knew it was going to be something more than what I thought it could have been, because I'm still blown away from that thing that he said, baby, about he wants to make sure that it gets out there right. Right. And so many people don't understand. If you're doing, and this is something that we did with this podcast, Charles. We said to ourselves, okay, we're going to buy the right equipment. We're going to do what we're supposed to do so that we can make sure that it's presented right, that it's put out there right. We didn't take the narrow path. we didn't take the wide path. We took the narrow path, and we had to spend a little money. We had to do what we had to do to make it happen. And I know that's something that you always put forth. You always take that narrow path. You don't take that wide path where you cheat on it, or you don't get the right equipment, or you don't go out and purchase the right things to establish that great sound out there in this world, man. So I give you so much props tonight, and so many props tonight, baby. You look like you got something to say over there, baby.
I was gonna say, when we just piggyback on what he's saying with the podcast, I was a little worried in the beginning because I was like, Teddy, everybody likes reality TV. Everybody likes a little drama. And so for us to bring real conversations, I thought people were not going to listen, but they are. Because I think a lot of people are sick of the negativity, the downgrade, because you got some educated African Americans, bottom line. And so it's, to me, you see more negative than positive. So we wanted to make this platform as positive as possible. So we have a purpose, because you remind us of ourselves. We have a pure heart, and we just want to pour into others. And hopefully they will learn from probably some mistakes that we made, so that they can save time and energy. So that's what this is all about. Just like you, I do respect that you knew your purpose, and you're fulfilling your purpose. And I think when you do that, God honors that as well. So,
well, he said my word. My desire for my life from now to the end of my life is to be more impactful. Mm-hmm. You're being impactful doing this. And people talk a lot about sowing seeds, and they talk a lot about getting a harvest. But what they don't talk about is working the field. Mm. You are not going to ever get a harvest if you don't work the field.
Amen.
This is working the field.
That's good.
You never know who you touch. You got to put it out there. But you invest. You could have just went to the club or got you something to drink or whatever. But no, you spent this. One of the things I think we need to do as a people, and it's something I did at a young age, I invested in my dream. For me, it was a dream at one point. And I took my little nickels and dimes and pennies and invested in my dreams. And over a period of time, that has proved to be fruitful. And that's something that I think as a community, a lot of times we want somebody else. Oh, I'm going to start a nonprofit. Now, the reason why you want to do good, but you want somebody else to give you the money to do good. Mm. You want to spend your money on whatever, and you want somebody else to give you some free money so you can do something good. Mm. No, you doing the thing. This is how you do it. Brother. You took your resources and you do this. So that's a real seed. And then you're working the field. And you just let God do the harvest for you.
Amen.
You don't know what the fruit's gonna be. But you'll know to work by its fruit.
Yes. That's what the word said.
You blessing me tonight, brother. You like I say, wisdom and good friend, man. Like I say, we don't see each other a lot, but man, every time I see you, man, I have so much respect, man, because I've seen you do the same thing, man. I have seen you work the field, brother. You have worked so many places that I've seen just as a youngster, and just growing and watching how you've helped churches, have you helped, different entities that needed the proper sound, man. And I'm just, man, I give you props tonight. I give you your flowers tonight, brother. And this is why we wanted to definitely talk to you and have this type of conversation with you, because I want people to know who you are, what you've done, what you've been in this music industry, this lecture industry, whatever we want to call it, spoken word. You've done it all, man. And like I say, I thank you for coming and just giving us your insight on tonight, brother. I thank you. Last thing before we get off this, because this thing goes by real fast. What do you see as we evolve? Because everything is becoming technology driven now. Everything you do is technology driven now. From church to even books that you read, ebooks. There's so many people trying to do things. What is some advice that you would give to someone who wants to do what you do, or put themselves in a position to where they can enhance sound, enhance people's talking and engagement and things? What's some of the things that you actually see yourself, or you can give us some advice that they can do to make them better at this field?
Well, technology today, there's so much more available. There's YouTube videos. So you can go on YouTube and learn almost about anything now. You can just put it on there. And so that's one thing you can do. The other thing you can do is listen. I spent years listening to music, trying to discern what I was listening to. And I think going to people and asking them to mentor you, someone that you know is doing what you would like to do. Mm-hmm. If you're a young person and you have a dream and a desire to do something, the only thing is to be serious about what you're doing. A lot of young people today, it appears they're not really serious. They just they want to walk in and be at the top, right off of the bat. And it doesn't work that way. They say to master anything, you need to put 10,000 hours into it. Wow. That's something I've heard a lot. So the greatest guitar player is great because he sat down and practiced, or a keyboard player, or violinist, or vocalist. You spend time practicing, working on it. So it's not about money. It's not about your circumstance or where you live or whatever. Some of the most prominent people in the field of entertainment, music, ministry, whatever, they come because they had a desire and they just continued it, stuck it out, worked it. They worked and worked and worked, and just don't ever give up.
That's good. That is it, man. Anything you want to say before we get off this air tonight?
That's it. I would just appreciate you joining us tonight.
Charles, like I said, bro, this time goes by super fast, man. And it seemed like we ain't been talking that long. But I want to, before we get out here, man, once again tell you, you said two good things to me tonight, man. 10,000 hours putting in the work. That's the only way that you can master something, is if you put the work in. And that's the message that I want. That's one of the biggest messages that I want to get out there, because you don't become great unless you practice great. Kobe Bryant was one of the biggest people that talked about preparing, making sure that your body's intact, making sure that you do the things. And he called it the Mamba experience. And that's something that you all, if you are trying to have a skill, a craft, do something. Even though we just got started on this podcast, you all, we're going to, like you said, we're going to work the field. Mm-hmm. We're going to put the work in, man. Go ahead.
I want to share something I heard the other day. Michael Jackson was great, the greatest, because he worked and worked at his craft. He started at a young age, but he was directed. He had a person who gave him direction. Serena Williams, great, the Williams sisters, because they worked and worked their craft and they had direction. Tiger Woods worked and worked and worked and got direction. Mike Tyson. You can run through so many people, so many names. So as a young person, Find somebody who's doing what you want to do.
That's good.
And go into, whether it's ministry, it doesn't really matter what it is. My oldest daughter, she had a school teacher that mentored her and worked with her all through elementary school and junior high school and whatever. And today she has a daycare, a very successful daycare. You just all you need, and you can get it, because any young person with a desire to do something, don't give up. Don't ever accept that you can't be successful, that you can't be the best. Just work and work at it, and then ask. Go to people and ask them if they'll help, if they'll mentor you. If you're sincere in what you're doing, a way will always be made. God will always give you what you need when you need it. Mm-hmm. The only thing, though, the challenge is that it might not look like you thought it would. So it's a challenge to know it when you see it.
Yes, I totally agree.
Charles, man, you preaching to me tonight. It may not look the way you think it should look, but it'll come in a package that you'll be surprised when that thing, you open it and it's everything that you wanted and everything that you expected it to be, brother. That was, ooh, thank you, boy. Thank you, man. Thank you for the wisdom tonight. Thank you for the wisdom, y'all. He said so many great things, you all. So many great things. Please, if you're out there and you have a skill, you have something that you want to do in life, he said, get direction. Go and find someone that knows or did that before you, and then learn, get tutored up under them, ask the question. And you don't necessarily have to go to school for everything. School is amazing. School is great. But some things out here in this world, in this industry, if you ask the right person or you see someone who's doing what you want them to do, they can direct you. They can maybe tell you what school to go to or what to do. So this is for all of our young people that's growing up in this world. The world is as broad and as big as you want it to be. Get direction, stay focused, take about 10,000 hours to perfect it. And then after you perfect it, stay humble and don't expect the package to look like you want it to look. It could come in a totally different package. But I guarantee you, when you open that package, it's going to be something great, man. So like I said, brother, thank you for the night, Charles. I pray for, man, I want to see you do this until you're about into your 80s and 90s, brother, because every time I see
plan
you,
on it.
every time I see you, man, I'm seriously, man, when I see you, I'll be like, that brother right there has done some amazing things in this instrument. So like I say, I got to give you a props tonight. Y'all, we love you all. Monica, I love you, baby. This has been another great show. You have been listening to the Teddy and Monica Show, WFTB 104.1 FM. Sacrificial conversations that will be aired, like I said, you all, on Wednesday morning, you all. Go out there, y'all. Keep listening in. This is you can
Subscribe.
subscribe. You can listen to it in your radios now, because our Pastor Dan Freeman, has made a way for us to do that. So y'all support black people, support black stations, support black podcasts, and trust me, y'all, this thing that we're trying to do as a community, it's gonna grow, it's gonna get better, and we're gonna see the fruits from it. So you all have a blessed night tonight. We love you all. Like I said, Charles, it's been a pleasure. So you all be blessed. Have a great night, and we love you all. Bye-bye. I told y'all it was going to be a good conversation, sacrificial conversations. Did you subscribe yet? Hit that like button. You might get something that's going to help your life. Y'all be blessed.
Said I'm tired of being sick and tired of going through the same old same.